What's up, Bulldogs? All right, the other day I did a video on forgiveness, and I got a great comment from someone about this video. And this is, and I wanted to read this comment because it's a really good comment and a really good question. And I wanted to address this here because I talked about forgiveness in this video in the context of how it affects you and why you shouldn't be holding on to bitterness and not forgiving people and how that's negative to you. But I didn't really address how you should deal with other people and really what it truly means to forgive. I instead, in that video, I implored you to do it, but I didn't really tell you how or what it really entails. And so I got a comment that says, how do you go on dealing with people after forgiving? Act as if nothing happened, ? And I responded to this comment by saying, that's what it means to forgive. It means to forget, to hold nothing as harm, but it doesn't mean you should blindly trust a person who has betrayed your trust. I can forgive a dog for biting me, but I won't put my fingers near its mouth. So the whole concept of forgiving, okay, and a lot of people get this wrong, is to no longer hold harm, okay? What does that mean? That means that when you forgive someone, you act like there was no harm done to you ever. You completely, let's put it this way, okay? Let's say that you had a debt, okay? And let's say that you owed some money. Let's say you owed someone $5,000. If they forgave your debt, what would that mean? That would mean that they're no longer holding that against you, that the balance is completely wiped clean. It's like you never borrowed the money from them or that you owed them the money. It's clean. It's zero balance. Now, if later someone came back to you that had forgiven you the $5,000 and said, hey, you owe me some money, you'd be like, wait a minute, I thought I was forgiven. I thought you forgave this. And so, again, we're talking about this in relation to another person, but I'm talking about it within yourself. You can't truly forgive someone if you haven't truly gotten rid of the hurt associated with it and the harm associated with it. It means to forgive, truly to have this transformation within yourself. Again, we're trying to get rid of the hot coal that we're holding on to. In order to do that, you must let go of all claim of injury. All right. And I know this is really hard. That's why forgiveness is hard, but it is very important that you do this. Otherwise, you're not going to truly forgive. And like I said, right, it doesn't mean that you're going to allow someone to hurt you or to abuse you or to treat you badly again or to take advantage of you. I can forgive a dog that bit me, but I'm not going to put my fingers near the dog's mouth. Okay, I can fully forgive the dog. I don't have to be angry at the dog. I don't have to be upset at the dog. I don't have to be like, oh, that's a bad dog. That dog bit me. I can completely love the dog after that, but I would just know not to put my fingers near its mouth. Okay, so if someone harms you, and there's some great harms. One person had commented on here. He said here, let me see he said, what if I was molested at 6 years old by my cousin? Okay. And I said to this, how does that change anything? I've said, how long does holding on to that benefit you in any way? And someone said weird. It's not weird. Like, look, I get it. All right. I mean, if you were molested when you were 6 years old by your cousin, that's a really traumatic and harmful thing. It did hurt you. It caused a lot of damage in your life. I'm sure of that. But what I am also sure of, okay, is that holding on to the harm and the hurt does not do you any good, and it causes you further harm. It doesn't hurt them in any way. Now, it doesn't mean that you allow that to happen again, okay? It doesn't mean that you don't do something perhaps to protect someone else from having that happen. So, for example, in this case, would it make sense to file a police report? Would it make sense to let people know what happened, not for the sake of revenge or not trying to get at this person or trying to harm them, but because it's a danger to other people? Yes, that would make sense. But does it make sense to not forgive this person? Not really, right? Again, it doesn't matter how bad or evil they are. It doesn't matter. It only matters in relation to you. You holding on to hurt, you holding on to harm, you holding on to trauma hurts you. It doesn't hurt anybody else but you. It's your trauma. You're the one who holds on to it. You're the one who's holding this hot coal. And you can give me whatever justification that you want for holding on to the hot coal, but it's not going to do you any good. I promise you, there's just no justification that will ever make sense for that. And yes, there are horrible things that people do, and you may have had horrible things done to you, and for that, I am sorry for you. My heart goes out to you. I wish that you weren't harmed in that way. However, it is the reality. Okay. And you can make a choice to hold on to that, or you can make a choice to forgive. And when you forgive, it needs to be in entirety. Forgiving doesn't just mean that you say it's okay. Forgiving means getting rid of any claim to injury. Okay, it means that you have settled the debt, that the debt is settled, that you have wiped the debt clean. That's what true forgiveness means. Okay, and again, it's not for the other person, right? Although, if you turn this around, like I said, if you owed someone money and they forgave you, and then a couple of years later, they tried to collect that money again, you would be pretty insulted. You would feel pretty betrayed. You would feel like that is a violation. Okay, it's just, it does feel the same way when you say you forgive someone and then you're holding it against them. And again, like I said, this isn't even for them. This is for you. When you choose to forgive someone, it has to be 100% entirely. It means that what you're doing when you're doing this, okay, it's really an act of acceptance. Okay, everything comes down to the same thing that I tell you guys about expectations, and it's really like there's only really one universal property in reality, in life, in philosophy, which is acceptance. That is the only concept that actually matters. And all of this, these are just aspects of acceptance. When I talked about expectations, it's acceptance. When we're talking about forgiveness, what is forgiveness at its root? It is simply acceptance. It's accepting what has happened. It is accepting the reality of that, and it's letting go of an attachment to a different outcome or to some kind of expectation of the future based on that thing. It's letting go. It's accepting. And it is a difficult thing to do because we want to hold on to the harm that's been done to us for various reasons, like I said. But when we hold on to that, it is like holding on to a hot coal. In fact, many times, like I said in the other video, we not only hold the hot coal, but we swallow it. We take the coal into our mouth and we swallow it so that it goes deep inside of us and burns us from the inside, and it becomes even difficult to extract the coal at that point. The best time to extract the coal is when it is in your hands before you've swallowed it, when you can just drop it. So as soon as you receive an injury, don't even count it as harm, right? And if you really think about this, like I said before, people are NPCs. All right, they're just doing their code. They're just running their code. When someone harms you, when someone injures you, even when they do something horrible, right, as this commenter had said, they are not doing it. It is not a personal thing. I know that it seems that way and it seems malicious, but they are acting out their own script. There's a reason why they're doing what they're doing, and it has to do with them being hurt and damaged, and it has to do with them not accepting reality. It has to do with a lack of awareness. They lack this awareness, and so they put themselves in a position where they harm other people. And what I'm trying to do with these videos is to help you to not become that person, because you may not believe it and you may not understand it, but if you hold on to harm and you do not forgive people, you will now start acting that exact script, because the script says someone hurt me and now I hurt someone else. All right, that's what the script says. And that is the script that you will enact if you hold on to the first part of the script. And so you have to let go of that. And like I said, it has to be a complete let go. It can't be just, okay, I forgave this person, but I hate them. That doesn't work. I forgive this person, but I'm still angry at them, or I'm still hurt by what they did to me. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not forgiveness. It is not forgiveness if you do it that way. It has to be, I forgive this person and I love them. that truly, again, I know I'm being really extreme here, but that is truly what it means to forgive. It doesn't mean that you have to be friends with them. It doesn't mean that you have to hang around them. It doesn't mean that you have to say nice things to them. It just means that in your heart that you are treating it as if they did nothing to you. You're completely getting rid of any claim to any injury or any harm. You're completely saying, no one hurt me. No one hurt me. Okay? And in reality, again, if we go back to Stoic philosophy, no one can harm you. No one can harm you. You can only harm yourself. People can do actions. Again, they're doing their scripts, they're NPCs, okay? And you can interpret those actions and choose to harm yourself from the interpretations of those actions. You are the one who harms yourself ultimately. And sort of forgiveness is a recognition of that. And it's a recognition that no one can harm you. And so when you really want to forgive, and you should, because like I said, it only injures you to hold on to unforgiveness, then you have to completely let go of all claims. You have to go the opposite, and you have to go back to a neutral or loving position with that person. Again, like I said, it does not mean you have to be their friend. It doesn't mean you have to hang out with them, but you cannot in any way count what they did to you against them. Does that make? I know that's extreme, but that is what it takes. But like I said, you know something about their nature or their character, and you can utilize that in your interactions with them. So if a dog bites me, okay, I can be upset at the dog, and I can not forgive the dog, and I can be like, this dog sucks, whatever. Okay, I can do that. I could claim to forgive the dog, okay, but then I secretly harbor resentment for the dog, and I secretly am feeling that pain that the dog, and remembering that pain, okay? To forgive is to forget. To forgive is to completely absolve all wrongdoing from another person. So if I truly forgive that dog, okay, then I love that dog. I don't have any ill will towards that dog. However, being a smart person, knowing that I have been bitten by the dog, I don't stick my hand near its face. I don't want to get bit again. I don't necessarily have to trust someone to forgive them, but I have to completely forget the harm they've done to me and not count it against them in order to forgive them. And again, I'm going to emphasize this so many times. This is not for them. You do not forgive a person for the other person. You do it as a selfish thing. It is for you 100%, because the only person you are ever harming from your unforgiveness is yourself. It never harms another person besides yourself, aside from innocent people that it harms when you enact hurt upon other people, because hurt people always hurt other people. It is impossible for you to be hurt and not hurt other people. In fact, this is where I fall down the most in life. I will tell you this. I will reveal this to you, is that when I am hurt, okay, and I try not to be hurt, okay, and again, it's a choice to be hurt or not, all right? Sometimes I make the wrong choice, and I allow myself to be hurt by hurting myself, okay, from someone else's actions. But when I am hurt, that is the time that I hurt other people. It is guaranteed. It is guaranteed if I am hurt that I will in some way hurt other people. I have to truly open myself to say, I will take whatever has happened and I will not count it against the person and count it as harm or count it as hurt. Okay? And if I am able to do that, then I can remain stoic, and I do not react out of that. But you have to understand that it is impossible for you to escape this reality. If you hold on to hurt, you will hurt other people. You will become the perpetrator. And then, again, this brings us back to the full circle of forgiveness. If you are the perpetrator, if you perpetrate the same things that are done to you, maybe different things, but the same hurt that is done to you, then how can you stand and say that you can have non-forgiveness for someone else when you are just as guilty? Right? Yeah. And again, we don't like to see ourselves just as guilty, but if you choose this path, that will come to you. You can call it karma or whatever you will, but the hurt will cause more hurt. And so the way to stop it is through the act of forgiveness. And like I said, it is something that you wholly do for yourself. And if you get into the practice of this, I promise, if you get into the practice of forgiving and completely forgetting, your life will be easier. You will be happier. You won't be holding on to all of these things that are hurting you. A lot of people are holding on to a lot of burning coal in their hand or in their mouth, and they've swallowed it. And their whole life becomes just feeling the pain from these various burning coals that they have held on to for their whole life. Right? And it affects all their interactions with people. It makes them miserable. As soon as you let go of those things, which you don't have to hold on to. Again, like I said in the other video, a lot of people hold on to these things because they think it will protect them. It will not protect you remembering that someone hurt you. It will not protect you by holding on to hurt. It does not protect you. It only harms you. You have a brain. You have logic. Like I said, if a dog bites me, it doesn't require me to not forgive the dog in order for me to be smart enough to not put my hands in front of the dog's face and get bit again, right? It doesn't require you to not forgive them. It doesn't require me to hold on to the hurt to remember, don't put my hand in front of a dog that bit me. I know it already. I have learned the lesson, and I can act on my logic instead of holding on to a hurt, trying to justify that that hurt makes me now protected in some way. It doesn't make you protected in some way. It only harms you. But it is a hard thing. It is a hard thing. And again, I'm re-emphasizing this, and I'm going to keep on saying this, because even as I'm saying this, right, and I can see it in the comments, many people still want to resist this. They still want to hold on to their hurt. It is very hard to let go of that hurt, because what ends up happening over time as well is that your hurt becomes part of your identity. And you derive your value and your sense of meaning, your sense of worth as a person from the hurt that you've experienced, because you've told yourself this story, and that story is part of your life, and you need to justify the way that you are based on that hurt. If you let go of that hurt, then you're responsible for yourself. If you hold on to the hurt, then the way that you're acting and the way that you're treating other people and what you're doing, it's not your fault. It's someone else's fault because they hurt you. And so that's why we hold on to the hurt and we hold on to unforgiveness and we aren't able to forgive people, is because it allows us to have a justification for our actions and how we are. And it excuses us from taking right action and improving our lives. If we can hold on to an excuse, hold on to a reason, and it might be a valid one, then we don't have to face those things. And so it is something that is extremely difficult. But if you understand what I'm saying, and you understand that there is no value in unforgiveness, that it does not help you in any way, but it only harms you, then you'll see that it makes sense to let go completely, to forgive, to completely forget. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean to trust. I'll see you tomorrow.